Welcome back to the Everyday Arcana channel. In this video, I'm going to do a brief overview of personal cleansing and how to do a purification bath. First thing first, I want to point out that when I say purification, I'm not speaking in a Christian manner like purify your sins. This isn't about morality, it's about hygiene, but for your energy. We all have an energy field around us that is constantly interacting with the energy of the people and places that we spend time around. So as you might imagine, this can occasionally cause problems when our energy fields get a little grody from the negative energy that we come across. Some people get really freaked out by the concept of negative energy to the point where they are super fanatical about avoiding it and avoiding negative people, which honestly just ends up meaning that they avoid anyone who happens to be expressing anything that isn't 100% light and love. The thing about negativity is that much like dirt, it just happens. It's a part of life. There's no need to be scared of it. There's no need to spend a whole lot of time trying to avoid it, because you can't. Life is made up of good things and bad things. Eventually, there's going to come a point where you will have to confront the bad things in life, and they're going to leave little squelchy bits of ick behind. It's just something that you need to be aware of and deal with on a regular basis. If you spend all of your time running away from a situation, when it finally catches up with you, you're not going to know how to deal with it. So here I am, here we are, here's this video, let's get into it. How often do you need to cleanse your energy? It depends. I would say once per year at the very least. This way you know that you've gotten rid of any spiritual gunk, dirt, debris, whatever you want to call it. This will also remove most spiritual attachments and prevent them from forming. Either yearly or quarterly will do fine, though you will want to cleanse more often if you live or work in a toxic environment, are a first responder, in healthcare, or are a social worker. Basically, if you are constantly around people who just exude negativity as easily as they breathe, or are constantly around people who are having the worst day of their life or just suffering, you're going to need to cleanse more often. You will also want to cleanse if you start to suffer a string of unfortunate incidents, accidents, or illnesses that can't be explained. If you feel like your energy is being sucked out of you and there's no physical explanation, if you suddenly start suffering frequent nightmares, or after doing any kind of cursing or hexing work. Additionally, cleansing should be done if you've had a traumatic illness or injury, especially one that you had to spend a long time recovering from. There are many different ways to cleanse one's energy. I'm going to share the way that I do it, but this is definitely not the only way. I like to take a bath for a couple of different reasons. I find it to be the most relaxing method as well as the most straightforward. Baths already have such a strong association with cleanliness, so it's really easy to translate that into spiritual hygiene. Baths can also be as simple or as elaborate as you'd like them to be. You can do candles, crystals, incense, the whole 9 yards. Just make sure that any crystals that you use are not going to be damaged if water gets on them, and I would not recommend putting them in the bathtub with you. There are too many that can either dissolve or start leaching harmful stuff into the water. There are also a couple of schools of thought as to when a bath should be performed. One school of thought is to do it with the rising of the sun. Jason Miller has a wonderful bit in his book Protection and Reversal Magic that invokes Hecate and Helios during a dawn bath, if those are deities that you'd like to work with. I've also seen it recommended to do it at the setting of the sun, so that as the sun goes away, so does all of the bad energy. And then you would just sort of pat yourself dry and sleep with the residue on yourself before washing it all off in the morning. Either way is good. There's no one right way to do this. Just don't put it off and not do it because you're waiting for that one right perfect moment. Now, when I do a purification bath, what I like to use is salt and then a mixture of aniseed, bay leaf, chamomile, and vervain. It's important to note that aniseed and star anise are very different things, so make sure you get the correct one. These can also be substituted for any herb that has purification properties. If you can't get a hold of any of these plants, you can do this with just salt in the bath. It doesn't need to be sea salt or any other fancy thing. It can be regular table salt. That's fine. If you're using herbs, then you will want something to put them in. A piece of fabric, a drawstring bag, a sock, if that's what you've got. Regardless of what you use, you do want to put them in something that is going to let water through, but also keep them from clogging the drain. You will not be putting salt into this bundle. The salt will go directly into the bathtub. So put your herb bundle together, start the water, put the salt in and swish it around until it dissolves, then put the herbs in there to create a tub full of an herbal infusion. As a side note, if you decide to use chamomile, it will dye the water yellow so that it looks like you're bathing in a tub full of pee. That's just chamomile for you, and it won't dye your skin unless you use a ton of it or stay in the tub for an extremely long time. Whatever you use to hold the herbs in might end up a bit yellowish though, so keep that in mind when you're choosing how you're going to put this all together. All right, and then get in the tub. You can soak in there for as long as you want, but it's important to make sure that you get your upper body in the water as well. I like to scooch down and fully immerse my head and upper torso. I generally do this 3 times, but you can do it 7 or 9, depends on how thorough you want to be. Then I grab the bundle and use it as a washcloth to symbolically scrub myself. Now, since we aren't focused on physical cleanliness here, you want to lightly run it over your body from head to toe and then shoulder to fingertips. And then you're done. I sometimes also burn herbs with protective properties after I'm done to sort of get the smoke all over myself. I view it as something akin to waxing a car after it's been washed. It adds a layer of protection and helps prevent stuff from sticking to you in the first place. If you've gotten this far and are thinking, well, this is all well and nice, but I don't have a bathtub. First of all, thank you for watching this video anyway, and second, I've got you covered. There are a couple of alternative options. You can tie a bundle to the shower head so that all of the water goes through it. You can also take a big bowl, fill it with warm water, and then add the salt and the herb bundle to make the infusion in the bowl. Then take the herb bundle out once you've got your bowl full of tea. Take this into the shower with you when it's not running, and either dump the whole thing over your head or grab a washcloth and use it to scrub yourself from head to toe and shoulder to fingers. And there you go. That is one of the most basic ways to cleanse your energy. If you've enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss the next video, and I will see you then.